Nobody's texting war plans. Well, I noticed this morning out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans because they know it's not war plans.
All right, so there is Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, defiant as usual, saying again that there were no war plans discussed in the Signal chat that was leaked yesterday. Now, The Atlantic came out today and said, okay, if you're going to say we're liars, Trump said he was a liar, Walt said he was a liar. I'm talking about Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief at The Atlantic, who refused to release all the texts yesterday because of their sensitive nature. Today, they went ahead and published them and said, here are the attack plans. Pete Hegseth basically arguing semantics, saying, oh, well, here he says it's attack plans. It's not war plans, and says that there were no war plans discussed. I'm going to show you the Director of National Intelligence, Gabbard, today basically admitting that there was classified information. But first, look at this video yesterday of Tulsi Gabbard saying that she didn't know if there was any classified information in those threads. Here's that clip.
So, Director Gabbard, did you participate in the group chat with Secretary of Defense and other Trump senior officials discussing the Yemen war plans?
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, were you on? You're not going to be willing to address. So you're not. Are you denying? Matt, will you answer my question, ma'am? You were not TG on this group chat.
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
So you refuse to acknowledge whether you were on this group chat?
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security Council.
Because it's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
As the White House previously
stated, is it classified or non-classified information on this text?
I can confirm.
Director Radcliffe, were you on the group chat?
And now here's a clip in that same line of questioning saying that there was actually no classified information after she said she didn't know if there was any classified information.
There was no classified material that was shared in that
So then if there were no classified material, share it with the committee.
All right, now before I show you what Tulsi ended up saying at the end of this hearing today, you be the judge. Here is the Signal chat that was released today of the war plans that were discussed in this Signal chat. Quote, team update, time now, 11:44 Eastern time. Weather is favorable, just confirmed with CENTCOM, Center Command. We are a go for mission launch. 12:15 Eastern time, F-18s launch, first strike package, 13:45. Trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch, MQ-9s. 14:10. More F-18s launch, second strike package. 14:15, strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop pending earlier trigger-based targets. 15:36, F-18 second strike starts. Also, first sea-based Tomahawks launched. Okay, so as you can see, Pete Hegseth is using military time talking about terrorists and bombs and drones and where they're going to strike and when they're going to strike. And this is what he's saying is not classified information. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Rep. Himes from Connecticut then questions Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, on what constitutes classified information. And in that line of questioning, she basically admits that the nature of these text messages were in fact classified. Play that clip.
Information providing, this is the ODNI guidance, information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing an attack should be classified as top secret. Do you disagree with that?
I don't disagree with that. I just point out that the DoD classification guidance is separate from the ODNI's classification guidance.
Do you think it would be materially different?
Ultimately, the Secretary of Defense holds the authority to classify or declassify.
Do you think it's likely that DoD guidance is materially different from what I just read?
I haven't reviewed the DoD guidance, so I can't comment.
Now, notice that the only thing that she doesn't concede is whether the Department of Defense has the same standards for what is classified or not classified information. Well, here's Republican Senator Roger Wicker from Mississippi, a MAGA Republican, saying that he thinks they should be classified. Play that clip.
The information as published recently, appears to me to be of such a sensitive nature that, based on my knowledge, I would have wanted it classified.
All right, now finally, here is Tulsi Gabbard giving her closing argument of the day about this whole debacle. She's been on Capitol Hill both days, along with John Ratcliffe, the director of the CIA. Mike Waltz is doing Fox interviews where he said that the Signal chat might have been hacked into. He doesn't know how it got in there. Trump is contradicting him, saying that it was some low-level staffer. All the while, Pete Hegseth is saying that it's not classified information for the DOD. Tulsi Gabbard, in her closing statement today, here's her saying, like, basically acknowledging that this was classified information. Play that clip.
It was a mistake that a reporter was inadvertently added to a Signal chat with high-level national security principals, having a policy discussion about imminent strikes against the Houthis and the effects of the strike.
All right, so there you have Tulsi Gabbard basically admitting that this was classified information. You've got Pete Hegseth still saying that it was not, arguing over semantics. It was attack plans, not war plans, basically telling us not to believe and hear what we can see. You know, we see the messages now. Jeffrey Goldberg, after being called a liar, released the messages so that we can all basically discern ourselves. They're using military time, military language, talking about terrorist targets, where they're going to be, how they're going to hit them. You've got Trump saying yesterday that he thinks some low-level staffer did this. Mike Waltz contradicting that, saying he thinks Jeffrey Goldberg hacked into the group chat. The only thing we know is this: these were war plans that were discussed and leaked to the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. Steve Witkoff was in Russia. He was in that group chat. It could have easily been hacked by Russia. The Trump administration is now being sued because that these documents were also used in a Signal chat where the messages could disappear, and they're supposed to keep these records. So all around, a huge blunder for the Trump administration, arguably one of the biggest national security scandals in modern American history. And what you get from the Trump administration is basically everything we usually get with them: deflect, deny, blame someone else. We're going to keep you up to date on all that is going on with this scandal and everything else. So be sure to like, subscribe, hit notifications. With Really American Media, I'm Justin Horwitz. Thank you.